Hello there, Aries. I'm Michelle B. Happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in to find out the highlights of your big reading for April of 2021. So I'm just going to go over briefly what came up in the almost 30-minute reading that I did for you that I posted over on Vimeo. Just like a quick overview. If you love what comes up in this overview, then you can click the link that's in the description box below and head on over there and get the full reading. But essentially what it comes down to, what I found out when I pulled the cards, is that April is a big month of shifting your attention on what you're doing for what you have been doing for other people. This like mundane, everyday stuff that people could be doing for themselves. You're like, I can't be doing that all the time for you. Now it's time for me to just allow you to do your own thing. And you're going to feel however you're going to feel about me. And I'm going to do my own thing and start working for myself so much more. And I love that energy for you. So I start out with what to embrace and what to leave behind for the month of April. And I got the Ten of Wands and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So the what to leave behind is that Ten of Wands. That's the burden. You see how this guy's just not happy to be doing the things that he's doing. And it's all about like the everyday mundane things that don't really bring you a lot of pleasure. And it's always, the Ten of Wands is always about other people's burdens. And so in the past you've taken them on, but it's become too much for you and it's not giving you pleasure, it's not making you happy, and it's really benefiting other people more than it's benefiting you. So you're rethinking that and you're being like, you know what, I need to pull back. This is not so much about them. This is about me learning my own boundaries and learning how to accept that I can't be everything for everyone all the time. So that what to embrace for the month ahead, embrace the fact that you're not going to be able to control everything for everyone, right? So those two dovetail together and it really informs the rest of the reading. You're like, maybe things will be hard for you, to people that you love. Maybe things will be a little bit harder for you if I pull back, but in the end it's going to be better for you in the long run because you will have earned what's meaningful to you in your own way. And for me, I'm able to focus on what is meaningful to me and create my own pleasure, create my own happiness, create the world the way that I want it to be in my own life, right? So this informs the rest of the reading, and then I focus on the triad of awesomeness, which is for me purpose, prosperity, and love. So starting out with the purpose, that is what you do that lights you up, that benefits more than just you. And for what I'm saying, like benefiting more than just you, I'm not talking about the stuff that you don't like doing, that you kind of been like weighed down under. I'm talking about the stuff that actually makes your life better, that improves your quality of life. And the way that is better for you, that you've been thinking, right? What you've been thinking, we've got that Page of Swords that came up. You've been thinking that you would like to be more active about these intellectual pursuits, these ideas, these passions. Like it's more like it's like that activist kind of energy. I want to be an activist about something that affects people on a larger scale than just I'm going to pick up these kids every day from school. Somebody's got to do that kind of stuff, sure, but you've got to have your responsibilities, and the people that should be taking care of those responsibilities need to be doing their part, right? So you're like, I want something more, and I'm ready to work on that. Okay, and so I go in deeper. I pull more cards about that in the big reading that I did. So I go in deeper about that and how to go about taking steps forward on that path. But something else that came up was this Eight of Cups, which is like there are going to be people that are going to be disappointed by the fact that you're setting these limits, and that means that you might have to spend some time doing things on your own a little bit, but that's what's good for you, and they will have to do their own thing and find their own way. Find their own, you all have to find your own way in the dark to get to the full satisfaction in your life of what lights you up, what makes you happy, what gives you a sense of purpose. But it's all good in the long run. I'm looking at my notes. Now it's time to learn more about you, what makes you feel good, right? So it's all about you doing things for yourself And in the process, you're learning how to be more, like how to be useful on a grander scale than where you have been. You're coming out of your box. You're lighting up, right? So moving on to the arena of your prosperity and abundance for the month of April. We had the Judgment card come up twice in the time that I spent focusing on that. Like I said, I pull several more cards. I talk about it more in depth. But with that Judgment card coming up 2 times was really important in that it's talking about like what you put in, cause and effect, what you put in and what you get back, the flow of your energy. And sometimes there's a lag, right? You've been putting in all this energy toward other people's needs, and that has been benefiting them economically, right? Not benefiting you so much economically. And so there's a little bit of a lag as you pivot from focusing on them to focusing more on yourself and doing good things for yourself. As you're doing that, there's like a gap that happens as the momentum shifts from moving in one direction to moving in the other direction. But as the month goes on in April, you're going to start seeing the effects of your energy being focused more on yourself and doing things for your own economic prosperity. But there, like, it's trying to say, be patient with the gap. Just because things don't look awesome at the beginning doesn't mean that that's an indicator for what's going to happen for the rest of the month and the year ahead. It's as you're changing your focus, the universe is like, okay, so let's move the momentum in the direction that you actually do want to be focusing on. So that's a good indicator for later. But just remember, it's like there's going to be a little bit of a lag, and just be cool with that. My BNSF friend is right outside the window, about 1 block down the hill from me, and they can be a little bit noisy. I can hear them coming up the way. Just be patient while they cruise by. But we're going to move on to your love and your intimate connections. What came up for the wider part of the reading was the King of Wands. What did I write down for that? Empowering yourself and leveling up in your relationships. Now, in the big reading that I do, I look at 3 different relationship scenarios. Here he comes. There he is. It's always BNSF. It's trains going up to Canada because I live on the Canadian border of Washington State. Bellingham, Washington. Yep, I am at the hub of the commerce. All right, there he goes. Anyway, so those three scenarios I look into, but I realize that there's a spectrum of different kinds of relationships that different Aries are having at this time, and the energies can flow back and forth between the different kinds of scenarios. But this 3 is what I like to focus on. I focus on those of you who are in committed relationships, those of you who are not in a committed relationship and would like to be in one, and those of you who are perfectly happy being single and want a little bit more guidance on how to love yourself better, how to have a better relationship with yourself, and like how to have better relationships with your other intimate connections that you have that are not necessarily romantic. But you can learn things from each of these categories, no matter no matter what questions you have regarding the kinds of connections you have. But essentially, that King of Wands being here is an indicator of you leveling yourself up, and therefore either drawing in a leveling up of connection with others, or not resonating with the old connections anymore. So that's what happens when you shift from one vibration to another, from the vibration of being the victim to being in the vibration of being the empowered one. The people that resonated with you when you were a victim will no longer be attracted to you. And that's just something that you have to accept. Like I said, there's a lag. There might be a gap where things are a little bit wonky at first, but then eventually people who resonate with the empowered version of you will be attracted to you. Sometimes that means letting people go, and sometimes that means letting them get used to the new you. Anyway, it's all good for you. It's all awesome for Aries. Happy birthday, Aries. Like I said, if you want to check out the extended reading, the link is in the description box below. It goes on for 25 to 30 minutes. I think this one was like 28 minutes long. And yeah, if you want a nice entertaining way to spend your evening, there it is. Have a great month. Happy birthday, Aries. I'll see you later.